I was talking to a friend the other day at a cafe, and we're talking about how I left my boot camp and how it didn't really line up with logic. It made no sense in order for me to give up boot camp and just go full-time online when I wasn't making enough income in order for me to be supported. Right? I was getting some income, but not enough to be fully supported. Now, for you, there are certain times where your gut instincts, your heart, is telling you to do something, to leave that relationship, to leave that job, where you're 2 years into studying a subject and you're about to finish, and then your heart is telling you to leave. There are certain times where it makes no sense in the head to do something, but your heart is telling you to do it. There are certain times when you need to follow your heart. Regardless of the calculations, the pros and the cons line up. There may be a lot of cons to making that decision, and there may be very little pros to making that decision, but in here, it just feels right. The very second that you erase the head talk and you let the voice of your heart speak, and not just hear it, but actually follow it, you'll see magic show up in your life. But it would never show up the way that you think it's going to show up. It shows up the way that it needs to show up. I remember a time, this was a year and a half ago, or about a year to a year and a half ago, I was dating this lady, and it made perfect sense in the head in order for me to stay with this girl, right? Perfect sense. But for some reason, right, and I did this, I was like, what are the pros? It was very logical thinking around this. I was like, what are the pros of staying with this girl, this lady? I was like, this, and then this, and then this. What's the cons? And there was like very little cons. The pros definitely outweighed the cons, but in here, my heart was like, this isn't it. There is a different lady out there that it's just going to click, that it's going to feel right. That it doesn't need any explanation about why you're with this person. It just feels connected. It feels right. So I left. I told her that this isn't going to work out. Did it hurt? Yes. Did it hurt her? Yes. But the way that you know that you made the right decision is when you make that decision. Before you make that decision, there's so much fear, but when you make it, it feels like so much weight just dropped off your shoulders. That's how you know you made the right decision. So for you, there are certain things that you know that this is telling you to do, your heart is telling you to do, but your head keeps calculating, well, you can't do this because what if this happens, and then what if this happens? It's showing you, it's giving you fear, it's feeding you fear to not make that decision. So you're going to need faith. You're going to need courage. You're going to need to step into the unknown and know, and I've said this before, that your heart is your life jacket. And the universe, when you make that decision, it will somehow bend reality, bends the current in a way that's going to support you along the journey that you need to go on, not the journey that you think you need to go on. Because you may think that you need to, but when you make this decision, that it's going to end up like this, right? But the universe has a different plan. There's your timetable, and then there's the universe's timetable, or God's timetable, whatever it is that you believe. If you just trust, because here's the thing, nobody knows. Everybody can have a theory, but nobody actually knows what happens after this life. Time is ticking. This may be our one shot at life. We have no idea. So why would you want to spend your time in a place or with a person or in an environment or doing something with stuff that gives you toxic emotions, that weighs you down, that makes you feel shit? What would it be like if you were to wake up every single morning feeling free, knowing that you've made the decision from your heart and you didn't stay in comfort because your head was telling you to do something? That's what I'm recommending you to do. Fuck the calculated approach of making a decision. Just follow this and watch what happens. So leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought, and until I see you guys in the next video, remember to love all living things, and most importantly, love thyself.